Hello, welcome to the Early Crow, episode 25. We are back after a huge, massive, just an enormous week of rugby league, AFL, Group 1, horse racing, good golf, the players. It's been a phenomenal week in sport, and we're going to get into it and get stuck into it. I'm joined by Roycey P. Rat with his twisty finger. And my man, your man, our man, T. Papley, if the premiership window was open after round 0 and I could feel the breeze upon my face, I was in Adelaide on Friday night and fuck, it was windy.
Oh, mate, you're getting a bit keen, Dicko. It's only round 2, mate. Just take it easy, all right? I don't want you. I don't want you just finishing it, buddy, going off too early like usual.
My attitude is I've been following this club since I was born, and if you're going to just only enjoy premierships, then you're a moron. You just got to enjoy the wave and ride every little bit of it, and we're on one, and I'm very happy. Friday night, was it? Yeah. The Premiers unveiled the flag, and, Pratty was there wearing his black and white scarf, and my mail is he took it off about midway through the second quarter. What a performance by the boys, Tom.
Did you leave like half as well, Pratty? At half time or 3/4 time or something?
Yeah, did you not hear me yell out to you as I was going? Yeah. About 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, I yelled out, "See you, Paps," I just put my hand up, and then I fucked up the thing and walked straight out the door.
Jeez. They're not bad, those Collingwood fans, are they? They've had some 2 good years, buddy. Like, even when they didn't win the flag in 22, it would have been a great bloody year. And then unveil the flag, win the flag last year, unveil the flag, and then they have a bit of an off game. We play alright, and they just leave. It's just extraordinary. But anyway, it's all good.
A bit of traffic
weather
around in
stuff.
Melbourne, Paps.
Yeah.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Was there?
No.
I thought it was actually a better win than it looked. We started enormous and did not cash in, and then they got their turn and they cashed in proper. And they're the sort of games that we can lose our way as a supporter over like 25 years, and it just didn't change a thing. We just got our turn when it came, and we punished them. And again, like round 0, there were contributors all across the board. Our man Juz is fucking airborne. Like his little bits he's doing. He looks like he's a skinny little like yapper, but if someone runs into the Juz, they feel it. They're sore. He broke a bloke's arm round 0, and he hurt a few blokes there on Friday night. Is he telling everyone about it?
So he's had like 2 big bumps in his career, and he broke a bloke's collarbone last year, the Bruckman in Port Adelaide, and then he broke. Unfortunately, this is obviously unfortunate for those boys, but then he broke Bowies as well. So see, boys, I might look skinny, but geez, I'm hard.
He had, obviously I was there, and that third quarter, I think he had 10 and kicked a goal, and there was a couple of clearances to go with it. He had leather poisoning, and I hope he treated that leather poisoning with the treatments that I sent for him, because he fucking dominated that third quarter.
He's sort of a different sort of. He's an outsider, insider, but he's got height to him as well, so he can go forward and stretch an opponent as well. And then he's quick, he's fit, he's good. It's funny because things change pretty quick in footy, and last year he was getting hounded by the coaches, and now he's all the coaches' pets, so it's good.
I thought Joel Amati had a pretty good night. If he kicked a bit straight, he would have had a bag. Like he presented, he took some good marks. Like when you guys were like begging to get out of pressure down the line. What do you think his game, his year? I thought he wobbled at the start, but is entitled to off like the way that the game was and the conditions were, and it was good to see him really stamp himself on the contest.
Yeah, that's what the practice game was wet and slippery as well, and then comes in round 1, it's wet and slippery for the big boys, and then round 0, then round 1 we're at the G, and it's nice and sticky for those big tall boys, and they can mark. Like Jolie's athletic man, big man, strong, he can jump and mark it, so he needs those dry conditions to bring his strengths, and he did that on Friday night, and then obviously Brucey as well, so good to see the early Crow boys getting involved in the goals, which I always like.
Speaking of the other Crow boys, Chad Warner's like I said he's going to win the Brownlow before we started, and he probably polled both games. He's like he jumps into blokes, spins in the air just to give these little weird like Chadlick handballs that he does. He's airborne, fast,
It's
fit,
the
kicking
TNs,
goals.
isn't it?
There's half a hanger he took too.
Yeah, he's got hops, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
What wheels are you rolling?
yeah, he's got those TNs, the new TNs, and
Yeah.
the two blokes that wore them, which Petraka and Chatty Warner, and I think they can probably both keep wearing them. They go alright, them too.
Overall thoughts so far this season? Obviously, everything's going great. What have been the sort of things that you've noticed, the factors that have improved or changed that have seen the improved performance?
There's obviously a number of things, but I think the scores off turnover is pretty good. We turn the ball over. Obviously, it's some of it's the opposition, but you also got to make the opposition make poor decisions. So scoring off turnover, we think we can defend really well and then go back at opposition. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on, and we'll continue to do that hopefully. And probably just some consistency throughout a game. We've probably played 4 quarters, 2 weeks in a row. It's only 2 weeks, but we need to keep doing that to be a good side. And if we can keep doing that, because that's where we let laps last year. We play 3 quarters, and then a good team will run over top of us. So if we can keep playing 4-quarter footy, we can go really well.
That fill you with a lot of confidence playing that well on the G as well. It looked like you enjoyed the open spaces, and the boys definitely run the ball up and down the ground very well.
Yeah, it is. It's no surprise really, or everyone sort of knows we can move the ball pretty nicely. We've got some pretty handy kicks in our team, like Lizard Errol, Ollie Florent, Haynes, these guys off half back and midfield. So we like the big space ground where we can move the ball, and it's good. We use the G nicely, and then we come to the SCG and we obviously change it a little bit, but nothing will change too much, just the ground size. So we have to adapt it a bit, but we love playing at home, which is good.
What was the wash-up? What did Horse say to you? I mean, you stamped yourself early there in the last or third and found yourself again in the right spot. Chest mark, simple stuff. You know, Australia's greatest small forward. I reckon your old man would have spewed when he saw you roll that thing over your left-hand shoulder and try and feed Lloydie. What did the coaches say? And I could see you talking to yourself. BT loved it, little Papa, feeding one off. But just give us all the feedback you've got, both from yourself and the coaches and potentially your old man.
I don't know, the word from the coaches block was like, oh, we only us, we'd fuck that up, and all this shit I was hearing. So, but nah, it's all right. I did the right thing. He passed it off. But Lloydie's just bloody, I don't even know what he's doing down there, but anyway. I don't know. He fell over and
old twinkle toes, eh? Jakey Lloyd sorted out. If he's going to get
got
fed,
excited.
you got to.
He's a half-backer, so he's not used to kicking a goal, and I think he bloody got too excited and fell over. But anyway.
It's a famous win on Friday night at the G. The defending premiers absolutely belted. Righto, Essendon this weekend, Saturday night, back at the SCG. Big Horses decided to enforce the fan tunnel walk-in again, which he led chest out, big smile last start. Excited about that, and are we expecting to see you lead it again?
It'll be interesting to see how many we can get there. Hopefully we can get the same amount of fans there. That'd be handy. But yeah, look forward to it. It's something different. It's always obviously better with the more fans. It will look pretty stupid if not many fans rock up. So encourage all the fans to get there. But yeah, it's something different, and something we can keep doing each week. We'll see what happens.
How's the knee going? It looked scary when you went down. Was it a big week in the solarium again, just to get the muscles right?
It was a little bit scary, personally. Actually, I thought of got a bit scared myself, but jogged off and it was all right. So got away with one there, but yeah, all good to go this week. And Essendon's always a tough opponent. We seem to always have close games against them. So I don't know what it is, but we always look forward to Essendon. They always have good fans as well come out and watch. So looking forward to it.
So the team will go in unchanged, full of momentum. Let's go, Juzzy. Let's go, Paps. Let's hope that Jake can keep going. Any other insights, Paps, about the big game against the Bombers on Saturday night at the SCG?
No, not much, mate. Just fans get down there Saturday night. Be beautiful conditions, and hopefully we can get through on the trot. Right, let's move on to NRL. Last week was a good week of NRL. We had one of the unbelievable tries I've nearly ever seen in Xavier Coates to win the game against the Warriors. I've only probably started watching NRL in the last couple of years, Dicko. Where are your thoughts on that try in the scheme of best tries you've seen?
There's one better try in that same. It's rugby league, There's all sorts of tries in rugby league, but as far as wingers doing acrobatical shit to score, there's a bloke from the Titans maybe that he's running and scoops it up almost behind him and puts it in the corner. It's been on the TV this week because they've been comparing it, but they're the two. He got every bit of that right.
Was that to win the game though?
No, I don't think it was.
The moment's what also makes it just unbelievable. Hey, what was there? 15 seconds to go, and he's 2 metres in the air sideways, and then popped it down old Xavier Coates. I was at the cricket club watching it. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, you're at the cricket club, were you?
Those boys have got to be able to. They've got to be able to. They would practice that stuff all the time, surely, on jumping mats and things like that.
You'd have to think so.
He's got a leap on him. He's a bit of a product of playing in Melbourne, probably getting a bit of help from someone, from Carlton or Melbourne, popping down, little cashy, kicking and catching out wide. You could see it happening. Speaking of cashies, my mail is that the Northeast Districts Cricket Club are chasing a bloke with a beard, and it's not Ned Kelly for couldn't play for the last 6 months of the cricket season, and apparently today he was off on the golf course and had 113 in the wind.
It was 109. It was not good. If anybody would like to help me with my golf game, please hit me up on socials because I'm fucking atrocious. I've never drawn a ball in my life, and that's all I can hit because, as you said, this little fucking chicken twisty on the end of my hand. I fucking can't hold the club. It's me, Dunzo.
Did you snap any drivers today?
Nah, I didn't snap any drivers, thank Christ.
Have you replaced the one you snapped last time?
Nah, I just nicked the one that I gave my brother back. Use that for today, and I'll go and get it fixed during the week.
Can't believe the tantrum you threw that day. The Rabbithos, 0-2, need to win. All sorts of off-field dramas this week. Latrell's gone bush. I think he was allowed to go back to his farm already after he copped a little bit of grief for swearing post-game, but DC was big and thick and just damaging again. They need a win. The Chooks, very, very good, Tom, in Las Vegas, getting the job done. Touched up by Manly at Brookie last weekend. They're favourites here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was pretty keen on the Chooks last week against Manly, as you would have seen in my Crow tips, but I'll be leaning towards Roosters again here. Although you got to take into the psychological fact of the Rabbitohs being 0-2, massive game for them. They'll be putting everything into this game, so it's going to be a good game. I'll probably watch that instead of the AFL on Friday night. I think it's only Adelaide Geelong, probably flicking between both, but probably my eyes be mainly focused on the Chookies and the Rabbits because it's a big rivalry.
I agree. We'll definitely have the sound on in the shed. The next game of the week in the Rugby League, another real big grudge match. The Parramatta Eels at home versus the Manly Seagulls, who are fucking airborne. Para's only defeat came against the Panthers. They were very, very good against the Bulldogs. Para slight favourites at home versus Manly. Sunday, 4:00. That's Rugby League prime time. I can't wait to watch it. And I don't know what the hell to do at the same time. Have either of you got an idea or a lean here?
Yeah, Sunday 4:00. I'll be sore from Saturday night. Hopefully, feed up on couch. Maybe some Little Owls or something, which is a chicken shop in Bondi. Really, and maybe a can of Coke. Sitting back and watching that. I think the Sea Eagles a good chance. I'm liking what they're doing this year. Tommy Turbo when he's playing, they're a different side. And if he can keep in that side, I think they can do some things this year. So I'll probably lean towards the Sea Eagles.
With the
Yeah,
points,
I'm
Pratty,
all
anything?
over the Sea Eagles as well. I reckon. I know the Eels have already played the Dogs. They look pretty average this year. Obviously, they're going to play a little bit better rugby league, but you've got to take Manly on the run that they're on currently, don't you? And just hopefully that they, with getting over the line last week, that runs the Vegas legs out of them, which would have been a big few days for the boys, and hopefully they're fit and fresh, and Tommy Turbo's putting them down in the corner.
Luke Brooks has been a huge addition to the Seagulls. The next and final game that I thought's worth talking about, only because of the prices here. Newcastle Knights, favourites just, against the Melbourne Storm in Newcastle, the Hunter. If you haven't, I couldn't tip it hard enough to go and watch a game of rugby league up in Newcastle. The town loves it. I'd assume it's like the New South Wales version of the Cattery, but it's hotter. It's a better climate, and it only goes for 80 minutes. So, and there's heaps of stuff to do in Newcastle. This is how I'm going to finish off my sporting weekend for sure. I can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait to take the Storm with the points. I'm all about the Melbourne Storm. I think Manly are hot, but they're not as consistent as the Storm, who are warm already.
With a couple of big inclusions to come as well, hey?
Money Munster hasn't even strapped on the boots yet.
Yeah, I'm with Storm. They're my team. I'm a Melbourne Storm fan, but it's coming from Vic, and I think it's a great price, $1.95, whatever it was. So I'll be probably leaning towards them in my NRL tips as well at the line.
Beautiful. Supercoach wise, boys, obviously a phenomenal start. Full credit to us all. Some sneaky stuff has gone well. It was looking like Paps's push for Latrell was going to be a bit shaky with 75 minutes done up there in Brisbane, and then with a sting out of the game, Latrell just put on one of the great tries of all time. Threw off about 4 blokes and got over and got the job done. We are currently the 4,251st best side in the whole of Australia, and we're nudging the top 100 in Victoria. Obviously, first season ever on debut, our focus and priority is head-to-head combat, and if we can take the Victorian title, we'll have it. Great start. Question with selection. Harry Grant has a big fat break-even, and Darcy Lussick has a break-even of about -60. He's doing a great job. I think we should consider flipping Harry to Darcy, or not Darcy, that's his brother, this guy. There's a few Lussicks in the rugby league world. Lussick from the Parramatta Eels, he's $313,000. He's got a break-even of -54. If we bring him in, it frees up some cash to make some moves elsewhere. We're very tight cash-wise. But there's some bad news come through this afternoon that Payne Haas, the biggest and thickest man in rugby league, is going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a bit of knee surgery. We can accommodate that because he's a big player. We can just swap him back to Tino. But yeah, what do we think about flipping Harry short term to try and generate some cash?
Is Harry somebody that we're going to want for the rest of the year? Do we have enough trades with what we've already done to flip him, then bring him back in, or do we just want to leave it there for the moment? The cash doesn't overly matter with him. He just sits there and we potentially look at other options. Do we have any other holes in our side that we could potentially get rid of blokes who weren't going to be keepers for the year?
No, well, Lussick has upside because if he keeps playing how he's playing, so he's averaging 71.5 points. That's what Harry will average.
Okay.
But he's a quarter of the price, or a third of the price. And you move that money, then you can. Our weakness at the moment is our wingers and centres.
Yep.
So we can bring in, start to build our numbers up through there with some nice players with a low break even. So if we bring in Molitalo from the Sharkies, the Finn, they just sacked ScoMo as their number one fan too. So shout out to the Sharks finally. Well done. Fucking shat himself in the Ingadine Maccas once upon a time, ScoMo. Molitalo's break even's -24. And he's a big, thick boy, and they're playing the West Tigers this week. So, cash, points.
Do it.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Any thoughts, guys?
Don't mind it.
Back yourself in, mate. Get it
And
done.
the Storm have the bye next week.
Makes even
Done?
more sense then. Get it done.
Locked in. That's our Supercoach, guys. We're flying. If you got us head-to-head this week, good luck to you.
Yeah.
But all the best at the same time. We'll shake your hand when we beat you or you beat us, because that's what we do in sport. That's rugby league, God's winter game. Phenomenal weekend of rugby league ahead. Hope you guys enjoy it. And don't forget, across our socials, we will get... If you can notice, too, there's a couple of really astute judges on the tip sheet, and there's a couple of battlers. But there's good information
Jack
on there, so
Erickson's
make sure you...
in struggle street.
Unbelievable start, 0-6, so shout out to Jack. One of the great operators all time off the field, but obviously struggling early on it. So they'll be out. I assume they'll be out Thursday,
Tomorrow.
probably even before this podcast. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you try and find it. Question time. Let's go, Pratty. Rip them in.
Yep.
What do we got?
So from Josh Jones, Paps, when you kick a goal from the pocket this week, are we any danger of seeing the worm? Have you got that in your arsenal?
Oh, what's the worm?
Well, as in
Come
like
on.
the cat, like the
The
That
worm,
thing.
yeah, correct. Yeah.
mate. If I did that, I'd never play for Swans again.
Perhaps I'll stick with you. Question from Marcus. Do you think Matty Roberts is underrated in the AFL at the moment? Kid's a freak.
Yeah, he's going really well. He got himself actually really fit this pre-season, and he was going really well at the midfield. Then he sort of went down back. He's got those smarts and the skills, so he's very, very good footy player. Very smart, sees the game very well, and I think he's in for a good year. He's still only played probably a handful of games, so he's only going to get better as well. So yeah, young Bertsy goes right at golf as well. Had 2 over today at the Coast.
2 over.
Yeah, he's off about 4.
Hey, how was the comment leading in there to go, goes all right? Imagine having 2 over.
Well, Paps has dropped the handicap by 2.5 strokes or 3.5 today, so he's feeling pretty good about himself, and so should.
Dicko, one from Jay McInnes. Thoughts on the horse hedged?
The jury's out with it. It's good. It pissed in. It won really well down the straight. What level it's got in it, I'm not sure. I'd assume they aim right up now. No, on the stable. You'd want a price to find out if they go to a group race. So last race it won was for 3-year-olds, and it was worth 150k as an open race. So the next step up is a group 3. If they go to a group 2 or a group 1, you'd want a big price.
All right, one from Deanie from Brisbane. The watering of the Sydney tracks. Why are they doing this, boys?
Chris Waller thought the tracks have been perfect recently at Rose Hill, and he's their biggest customer in their eyes. Obviously, the punter's actually the customer, but maybe Uncle Chris is happy with that. Some trainers seem to think it assists their horses. Gay Waterhouse, I think, doesn't. I think the punting turnover will suffer if they keep on producing overwatered tracks with biases. To be honest, it suited us with Just Folk running up there on Saturday, but we went there assuming it would be overwatered, and it was. So, I think the tracks in Sydney are close to a disgrace, and need and deserve serious investment.
I've got the quote here, actually. I was hearing people say you couldn't make up ground. Well, there were horses late in the day that made up ground, which can be speed related. One thing I hate it, and has happened in the past couple of months, is the tracks are too firm and horses don't pull up well. It's fine line, but I'd hope it's a soft 5 track.
Which is a big change from, tracks used to be presented as a good 3, and if you have a 10 race card, it ends up a good 2, firm 2. Tracks for the last 5 years, 4 years have been artificially watered to become a good 4 with give, and Chris is sort of saying now soft 5. And in my experience, what happens is when you water a track with a hose and a sprinkler instead of rain, it's never perfect and lanes are created. And I think it's just about whose self-interest is the loudest and whose self-interest is the most powerful. Because if Chris thinks it's better for his horses well, then that's really good information and it's relevant. We want the horses to go and race and come home safe. As racing people, as punters, as owners, just as animal lovers. But then as punters, you want the track to race fairly, and or more so, perhaps I guess consistently. You want to go like, well, we're on this rail at this track, and we know how it's going to race, and I can have my bets on Saturday morning and go and play cricket, or go and get paid to play cricket but not play, but then play golf, or whatever it is you want to do. But you can trust how the track's going to race and turn over some money, so we can keep having great prize money in this country.
This one's from Ned Reid for you, Paps. I have a tattoo of the Sydney Swans premiership in 2022. Just wondering if you miss Bunyip.
Yeah, jeez.
Do you miss Bunyip?
That's a rough tattoo, brother. Maybe one day we can change the numbers, hopefully, and hopefully might not be too much of a change. We can just change the number at the end. But yeah, it's
would it be easy to turn a 2 into a 4?
Yeah, maybe.
I'll do it if you're a streamer. It'll be the first tattoo ever done. I'll get one with you. He can do it to me.
Ned, shout out
but
to
yeah,
you.
Yes and no, Miss Bunyip. Yes and no. It's pretty quiet down there sometimes, but it is always good when you go back down there for a beer or two.
And then the lucky last from Will. Dicko, I'll start with you. Biggest return on the punt in your lifetime?
I'm not answering that. One that springs to mind at the last leg of it was when Earthquake won the Blue Diamond, and me and Matty Punts we used to have sick multis, and Earthlight was in it to win the Blue Diamond. The last horse was Benaria. It was at Caulfield, and Benaria, she might have been trained by a trainer that doesn't train anymore. In my mind, it was purple silks with yellow sleeves, and it was sort of midfield, worse than midfield, and it fucking pissed in the end, and it was a big couple of days for me and Punts after that. Many years ago.
Perhaps what was the horse that landed you the biggest collect?
It was a horse called No Frontiers. It's actually a Bairnsdale, I think. And
that's so you. How did you find out about this horse?
It's a good story, actually. My uncle rang me on a Saturday, and he's a $5-10 better, and he rang me. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, yeah, mate, can you have a certain amount on this, certain and this for me? I'm like, what? He's a $5-10 better, and he's asking him for a bit more on that. I'm like, oh yeah, right. He's like, can you do it? I'm like, yeah. Well, what's the stories, mate? Just don't ask, just listen. I'm like, all right. So I've put it on for him. Then I've obviously done some rejig of multis into it. When it was like 30, I think it was 38. So I got that first jump. Woke up in the morning. It was like 650. And I go on in win multis like places and everything, and then it led and did not look like losing the whole way. It was amazing.
Love it. That's all the questions,
I'm pretty
boys.
Sure it was
Amazing story, Tommy. Just sick stuff. I look forward to meeting your uncle. Up next, guys, our man, your man, one of the fiercest, thickest fighters. He's looking enormous. PharJack. Ponies, and a little bit more ponies. All right, let's talk ponies. Eyes on ponies. To do that, very special guest, our man, your man, PharJack. Scary man, but a beautiful man. Jeez, you look good. You look almost as tanned as T. Papley, which I don't know if you caught this far, but I did. He's been doing a bit of solarium work with Kira McAvoy there with the ATC. So I thought Tom was getting a tan playing golf and playing footy, but apparently he also bakes himself in a solarium. But anyway, Phar, how are you?
Nah, you wouldn't say me in that, mate.
Phar, how are you?
Mate, I am good. Coming off watching one of the most dramatic, or at least what known as the most dramatic finish in an All-Star Mile we might have at Caulfield on the weekend.
Did you think, firstly, have you been to a few All-Star Miles?
I've been to the last 3 All-Star Miles.
I'm tipping Moonee Valley as the best joint to host the All-Star Mile. I think it should be there all the time. You?
There is nothing even close to the Valley for the All-Star Mile. It's like Flemington HQ has the things we love about HQ. The track always plays even, nice big straight. Every horse is going to get their chance. But as far as pure viewer experience goes, and fan experience, being right on top of it, the Valley is the best. You wouldn't take it anywhere else. Take the guineas off Caulfield. Take everything off them. Send it to HQ or the Valley.
Cop that, MRC.
Yeah.
Paps, thoughts on the All-Star Mile and particularly the tactics and decisions made by Craig Williams or Mr. Brightside? I'll go last.
Yeah, poor old Willow is the greatest human. He just seems to always the media's just after him, aren't they?
They love clickbait at the moment.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. Like, I think a lot of the smart punters were against Brightside for the bias reasons, going back to last, Pratty, Jenny, and those likes. And if he went forward, I still think he wouldn't have won. Even if he slid in nicely somehow, I still think that Pratty, Jenny would have blew Brightside up with that early that tempo he goes at. It's an incredible horse, Pratty, Jenny. I like it.
Unbelievable horse. Far thoughts?
Mate, I'm in the same camp. My one thought that I kind of had with it was that, judging by the track, how the track was playing up until that point, if Jenny was going to go to the front and lead, there needed to be someone try and stick with her, or the pack needed to keep her in the inside lanes. Because if she could be a length or a length and a half in front when they turned and had space to come out to that lane 4, 5, 6, there was no one catching her. And at the 800, it was already clear that no one was going with her. No one was putting pressure on from far out. So it was, as soon as they turned, she just drifted. Lane 3, lane 4, lane 5, bang, she was home. Brightside, when you're from an outside gate, what are you going to do? Like what's Willow going to do? Yeah, the chat is from some of the owners, he got told you don't go back no matter what. You got to sit 3 wide or 4 wide. You see, he jumped all right and he mustered up. He pulled him in, and then the race just kind of developed around him. There's nothing you can do there. But it was, I don't know. The idea of a trainer, like the boys being like, all right, we'll go to a vote within the ownership group. There must have been some real angry heads after that race that just didn't have time to calm down. What do you think, Dicko?
I think that the trainers have let themselves and their brand down. I think that you don't put on Craig Williams, Mark Zara, D Lane and expect to be able to tell them how to ride a horse. You put them on because you don't need to. If you want to dictate how horses are ridden, then do what PG Moody does and use Luke Nolan every time.
Yep.
And I think this is like the perfectest, the best possible case for where the eye lies. So tactically, it looks like Craig's really negative here in this race when you're watching him run. And it looks like Buffalo River and these other horses aren't applying much pressure to Pride or Jenny. But the facts are that every horse in this race has done a PB in their careers to the 600. So this is the fastest Mr. Brightside's ever gone in his career to the 600, and it's a personal best for the horse overall because of that. So to suggest that Craig should have gone even quicker, which it would be way outside of this horse's comfort zone, and a horse that has a pattern that wins, is moronic. It's dumb. I think the owners, and I don't think it's all the owners, I know 2 of them, and they say that they were supportive of Craig. I think the ones that bag him, though, are incredibly ungrateful and like they're just sort of breathing in the bubble a little bit too hard because they're so unlikely to ever get another horse of this calibre. We won't see many horses of this calibre. Just enjoy the ride. You're not going to win every start. They should have walked over to Pride Jenny Camp and say, hey, too good. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah. Isn't it ironic that Willow got slammed for his ride on Giga Kick for going too quick, and when you look at the data, didn't go that quick, and then now being slammed for his ride on Brightside for going too slow and didn't go slow at all?
It's like a pattern of like trainers and big trainers too throwing the jockey under the bus to sort of dodge any criticism of themselves. Like gear kick hasn't been seen since. So was it underdone that day? Brightside just ran in. There's nothing the trainers did that was wrong in my view at all with Brightside. He just isn't capable of running that race.
Yeah.
If you look at your ratings and your data, however you want to suck it in, this is as big and fat as they get. So let's just run into a horse that's had one of the greatest performances of its life. Well, this will be the best performance of PharJack's career, and Mr. Brightside got beaten by it.
Yeah.
And Willow's been the punching bag for a number of them. And then the clickbait sort of American style of horse racing media, they're trying to engage people on social media by saying something controversial. Willow's the perfect sort of name to put out there. Let's not forget the shit he got for Jimmy Starr, who then went and failed again.
Yeah. Willow just copped
With
it.
a
Poor bloke.
Is that as fast as you've ever seen a race go for a 1,600 metre race to the 600, Dicko? I mean, you've been looking at form and punting form for a long time now.
Yeah. The winner went 23 lengths faster than is the average for horses to go to the 600. It's so for a really good race, 16.6 lengths faster than what expected. What's the benchmark? So 16 lengths is like 200 meters. It's like 10 seconds. It's a long way. It's so significant. So it like a tractable tried to ride the speed a bit and punctured bad.
Yeah.
It's almost suicide. Like, to be honest, the story that's missed here is how good Pride of Jenny is. And, I hope that D. Bates has, a room in his house that just has fucking a mural to the horse that he goes into and he prays at it every night and says, God bless you, thank you so much because of your toughness. You didn't make me look like a moron. Because if that horse punctured, there would be, justified, heavy criticism of the tempo that he let her go at. Do you know what I mean by that? I've never seen a horse sustain that speed and keep kicking.
Yeah.
But she did it, and then everyone's going, oh, what a ride. Just rode the speed, got off the fence. Fucking full credit to you, Declan. If she punctured and just stopped, the most disgraceful performance in the race was probably me not backing Pride of Jenny. To be honest,
Yeah.
that was weak.
You and me both.
There was a bit of that. I saw something like that on Friday night when Australia's greatest small forward tried to hand one off 35 out straight in front. I mean, sometimes we can see what we've got to do and we don't do it. And yeah, I regret not backing Pride of Jenny because it would have been a great watch.
Oh, Dicko. Now, I tell you what, speaking of things that we got to do and we shouldn't do, there's not one I'm going to leave on the table here. We've seen Pride of Jenny burn the clock and put these horses to the sword, which takes us back to when all of us, maybe minus Paps, were at the Valley for Moya Stakes night, and Amelia's Jewel produced one of the greatest Valley performances to whip around the bend and slingshot past Pride of Jenny when the tempo was on and when she was running quick. I don't know if this is 100% true, but from memory, I think they ran the track record that night in that race. Jenny burnt the clock and Amelia's Jewel ran past her. She will go to the Quokka, second up. She will be a $1.50 favourite, and it will be Simon Miller's last time as her official trainer. And right now you're getting $4 for her to win that race, and she's already secured the slot in there. Unbelievable value that you can get $4 for Amelia's Jewel that race, and it is the greatest bet of 2024. Amelia's Jewel at $4.
I love it. And I couldn't disagree. I just can't disagree. To put it in context to what we were talking about before, that race, so they went 20... In the All-Star Mile, they went 23 lengths faster than the average to the 600 over the mile. In the race you just spoke about, over the mile at Moonee Valley, when they went suicide. It was Pride Jenny and this great mare rode that off her hip. They went 14.5. So it's just completely next level what Pride Jenny did on Saturday. But that night at the Valley, not only did Amelia's Jewel ride the speed and kick her head in, she started $1.35 when she did it. So
Yeah.
The market said, hey, this filly Prodigy's nowhere near as good as Amelia's Jewel. So
Yeah.
$4 does sound like a complete and utter gift. Gamble responsibly. 1-800-858-858. But I couldn't support Far's declaration anymore. I think it's an outstanding bet. Tom?
I love the confidence. Pratty's going to be cutting that up for sure. That's what Pratty gets horny about, those little clips.
He came on here and declared Imperatrice. Now he's just double pressed Amelia's Jewel. That's fantastic. And you're 100% right. Perhaps you can clip that up and put it on socials. Well done.
Yeah, but if she ran in a race in Melbourne, she'd be like $3. Biggest price possible. Probably shorter. $4 is a gift. Golden Slipper boys this Saturday. Storm boys drawn 2 with Ryan Moore flying in. Might not have even sat on the back of the colt by the time this thing gets into the mounting yard. This big, thick, justified colt. I think Coolmore paid something like 30, 40, 50 mil for. Switzerland, the Coolmore colt again, but they paid a ton for it just at the sales, and it's drawn 7 with J-Mac. Far. What do you got for us in the slipper? What are you thinking? What are you liking?
Look, here's the way I would usually play a race like this is if I'm looking at a $2 favourite in a big field race at Randwick, well, anywhere in Sydney, because the tracks are horrendous week after week after week. If there's a $2 favourite anywhere in a big field, I'm looking to get it beat. And Stormboy here is no difference, because if there's a $2 favourite, big field, shit track, and it's a 2-year-old, it's even more reason for me to look for a reason to back against it. But in saying that, I think it probably is a race in 2 in terms of talent between Switzerland and Stormboy. And I think Stormboy, just by, you have to, I know there's these big money gets thrown around by the big studs all the time, and sometimes it proves, a mistake. But the money that they've thrown at this horse and the figures it's ran so far in terms of its SPs, there's got to be something more to it. It's a decent horse. So although I want to get it beat, I'm not going to bet against it. I'm going to have Stormboy anchor in a fair few multis, I think.
Tico, we've had a question come in from Jeremy. Stormboy, how far? Do you agree?
I haven't done the race like in depth to stamp something, but I kind of think exactly the same as Far. Like, the rail's going to be in a 2 metre. The tracks have been underperforming. I bet you it's rails and run. It often is. He's going to get every possible. He looked big and thick when he just had a barrier trial beating him the other day. Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott are so airborne, it's not funny. The horse has tactical speed. He's bomb-proof. Do I want to take that price? I feel uncomfortable about it, like Far. But they've also paid a shit ton of money for him, and they're so good at it. Like, you look at all the stallions in a sales book, they owned half of them.
Oh yeah.
So he has to win this race to justify their investment in a way. You know what I mean? Whereas Switzerland can win another Group 1 later on. I'm not saying that they wind them up or down. Like, they're different trainers. But they're just so good at identifying the right horse that I think it's just another push.
The only way I think Stormboy gets beat, if he slightly misses it and the others come across and then he gets held up by a few. Because I think if he can land in the first, if he can land leaders back or lead, I don't think he'll lead. I think he'll land leaders back or 3 back the fence at worst. But I think if leaders back Coffin, I think it's all over. But if it lands 3, 4 back the fence, that's when it gets dangerous and could be something like Switzerland or Lady of Camelot even. That did really well in the Blue Diamond on a hot speed. It's going to be a hot speed again, but you don't want to. But the last 10 races at over 1,200 metres at Rose Hill, the winners have been in the first 4. I know it's a different race, the slipper, but you don't want to be any worse than 6, 7 back.
What about this, boys? We're Coolmore, or they ring us up. They say, "Hey, Early Crow, we've got these 2 colts, Switzerland, Stormboy. We've got J-Mac and we've got Ryan Moore. Paps, you go first. Who's on which?" Storm Boy's going to start favourite and is like probably the priority.
Yeah, I'm putting J-Mac on Storm Boy.
I don't know any trap have James McDonald on your priority horse.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's real ballsy to not have J-Mac riding. But again, they're just so good at it and they've done it so many times. But, yeah, I'll just be J-Mac all day. All day, all day, all day.
And then we've got a question from John as well. Perhaps I might throw to you with this one. Will Switzerland get a great run? Obviously, J-Mac on barrier 7. Have you looked at the speed map and can you answer that question there?
Yeah, Switzerland, I think, is drawn nearly perfect for it in 7. The ones that are really going to put the speed in, straight charge, Holmes a court from 9 and 8, Shangri-La, Storm Boy, and Fully Lit are underneath it. So it's going to be this. It's sort of in between. And Lady of Camelot. It's sort of in between those 6 horses, and I think it can just land off the speed of that. The only thing is, it's the rails in run bias at Rose Hill. How's it playing by race 8? Is there rain around? Are they come off the fence? But I think if you're Switzerland, you wouldn't want to draw 1 to 3 because I think it would have got held up. But I think 7's a pretty good spot for Switzerland.
Unbeaten colt, perfect barrier, best rider. It's a great combination.
Far or Dicko, do you give any hope to any of the Vics that are going up there that run in the Blue Diamond?
I think you can't knock Hayasugi. Like, she wasn't blessed in any of the last 2 wins. It's just a question of, like, can they sustain the performance and can she go to the next level? Because she's going to have to. Because he is a special, special colt.
With a 2-year-old prep, can you expect a horse to keep running best times? Like, Hayasugi's run an improvement, start after start. Can you expect her to run another improvement? Because that begs the question, if she does run an improvement, is she up to these? And maybe she is. And especially tempo dictates pattern. So if they go quick and everyone thinks it's rails in run and she can swing past them and run a PB, then she might be the one.
Yeah, and he's an underrated trainer too, Clinton McDonald. They got history in the race as a family. I think that's something as a punter, when you start, you just largely ignore. You assume, yeah, kind of like you fighting far or perhaps playing footy. As soon as they go out, you just assume they're 100%.
Yeah.
But, you know, the more you learn, the less they are, and particularly with a young horse, it's just about, you know, is it eating well, what's its blood profile like, all these little bits like that, but you don't know that as a punter. And I'd be pretty confident if things weren't perfect, you'd still run, but it would limit their performance. But you'll never know. So I think you just got to assume they're right. And what you should probably do, and I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but just get Rob Scurry's yard mail. Honest to God, it's probably the best solution to finding out if a 2-year-old's like maintained a preparation. So, like, you got someone or you go yourself and you look in the yard and you go, well, you know, Storm Boy does look a little bit fitter than he looked last start, or last start he was like walking perfectly, and this start he's sort of jig jogging and he's a bit sweaty, and that might be a sign that, hey, he might have like sort of lost it a bit as a 2-year-old. Things like that. The yard's probably the most important for a 2-year-old and a like lightly raced 3-year-old, as opposed to, you know, like you go to Sandown today, they're all just, you know, hardened race horses that are just going around. Probably the biggest tell, yeah, mounting yard.
I think another interesting thing with the map, going back to the map, is Gay's got 5. What's that? He's got straight charge in 9, then got Shangri-La, Storm Boy, Fully Lit in 1, 2, 3, Lady Camelot in 5. What's Gay saying to them? They all can't go fucking steaming forward all at once. Is Gay saying no, let Storm Boy go, or what's the go?
It's like when we had Dan Bowman on the other day. He said, like, I just can't wait to hit. Like, I just love to hear what Gay says to you all.
Yeah.
Who knows? Again, like, who knows? It's racing. Nothing would surprise. plenty would disappoint, and we bet and we pray. We've lost far. He's had to go and help light the candles for his mum's birthday cake. He was kind enough to step away from that and join us, and we thank him very much.
Rightio, let's turn our attention to golf, which makes me a little bit sick. The Early Crow Golf Tournament. It's come to a close at the players, and a full congratulations to hate for me to say it, but Dicko. He got the job done. He got the job done early. Who was your first selection, Dicko, that you got
Middle.
on the board with? Like,
I got Rory over the line in Dubai just to settle the nerves a bit, and
He's
then
fucking $2.50. Well done, hero.
and then I decided let's trust the big Strixon man, the Japanese warrior Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, that's it, Hideki.
He was able to put on one of the great final round runs of all time. And a lot of you are on Pete Cantlay, and he wobbled, and Hideki just rolled to the line. It was fascinating to see some of the boys' lack of tactical nous. I mean, I watched two of the great games I've ever seen from you guys structurally under a lot of pressure, but you had all week to sort of figure out your selections, and there were blokes trying to find $100 winners 2 weeks out when they didn't realise they had three times picks on the final round. It was fascinating to see some of them shit the bed. Bruce, not met him in person. I'd say Logan McDonald's the top 5 smartest blokes at the Swans, just the way he thinks. I read him as a punter. That'd be my guess. Thinker. And I'd probably have Juzzy right down near the bottom. But if it's only because Pratty doesn't play for the Swans. I mean, what Pratty did on would have been last Thursday is got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen from a bloke that I've got respect for.
It's not dumb.
He basically used one of his picks as a dot ball. Fitzpatrick top 5, who put on a great last round to jam into the top 5, and he roared it too, like he was home. But he didn't do the maths right, and he fell agonisingly short of collecting. I mean, fucking idiot.
Yeah, so it was not only did I roar at home, I then knew I was picking Dicko up from the airport on Monday, and I was ready. I was like, you know what I can do? I'll obviously take my phone. I'll pull up. I'll make sure I park somewhere. He was hung. He's been in Adelaide. I'll get a good video of him. And then I'm sitting there, and then I'm like, okay, beautiful. I better just add up to make sure that this works. I thought I needed a $14 winner 3 times. Nah, I needed a $15 winner 3 times.
Oh.
I had some cash on myself, thank fuck. But I felt proper crook. I was going to absolutely give you both barrels, but for a bloke who's got a math degree at uni, I fucking cannot count in my head. And that was an enormous setback, to be honest.
What do you mean? If you got a maths degree and you did that?
Yeah, I can do other maths. I cannot. Me and mental maths is no good. So yeah, I was flat as fuck. Yep, absolutely flat as fuck. But nah, we almost got there. Almost got there. Well, I thought I got there, but then I didn't get there.
It was so tactical the last round. I wanted to have Scheffler, but I thought, what's the point? He can't hurt me. So I just went for all the guys around the 30s that these guys are just going to start picking from there down, And
then I picked Rory.
There were a lot of talking, trying to figure out how to beat me as a group.
The best was perhaps as I picked Rory, and then he's like, oh fuck, I was going to pick Rory, and I was like, oh well, at least I'm semi on the money. I just do all the form myself. Dicko gets a bit of mail, and then I was like, okay, beautiful. And then Fitzpatrick took the lead out of his golf grip. Did you hear about this? Perhaps apparently, I was watching a interview, and Fitzpatrick was doing some training, and he had some weights in his grip, and he didn't realise that he hadn't taken them out, and he took them out leading into Saturday, and then he started playing better golf. I believe is what occurred, and he obviously absolutely stormed home to finish top 5.
But
this
is you and your victim. This is you and your victim mentality, though, right? All that would have changed is he probably would have won, and you would have felt like a bigger fuckwit.
Nah,
you would have backed the bloke to run top 5 that couldn't win the comp, and he won.
You would have wanted to kill yourself. He couldn't win the comp until after he finished, so I would have been all good up until that point. But yeah, anyway, these things happen, and I still have to go pick up Dicko, and the smirk on that bloke's face when I fucking picked him up for the airport.
And I wasn't home, was I? I was fresh as.
You smelt like a kebab. But,
shout out. What is it? Well, I told you what it was.
I can't remember. Biggie
Biggie
Smalls?
G's or Biggie Smalls? Biggie Smalls, Melbourne Airport. Go
Just
through
as you get-
security,
just as
you
you
go
come in.
right. Yeah, I get them on the way out. I get them on the way in. Highly recommend it. A really good way to start or finish a flight. Big tip that.
We should start talking about round 2, hey? So we've got round 2 of the golf coming up.
Well, yeah, we've got selection back though as well with round 2. I mean, there's payers and there's non-payers, and we've got one of them. I don't know if we name or shame the nonny. The nonny hates tomato sauce and hates paying up. Playing outstanding footy though. So do we let it slide? I don't know. You guys at home can probably figure out who we're talking about if you listen to most of the shows. But what are we thinking?
I could have guessed it. He's shocking. He's the worst. He's the biggest non-payer ever. It's a fucking joke. He'll bloody, I don't know, at the races or something. He'll be like, yeah, gives 200, whatever. And then you're like, yeah, mate, sweet, just. Yeah, when's that coming in anyway? Like, you just forget about it. You don't worry about it. Anyway, month comes later. Hey, mate, is that 200 coming in? It's like, oh, shit, yeah, forgot about that. I forgot about that one. Oh, yeah, all good, mate. Fuck, man.
I think for, like, blokes playing at home, like normal people, it's very hard to understand because if you lend a bloke a couple of hundred at footy training and he's an apprentice or something, you sympathise with his situation. But you blokes are all in a stack, so, like get your wallet out, Juz.
Yeah, I know. He's useless. He's absolutely useless. He's budgeting, you reckon? Budgeting. Anyway.
You've got Dicko there, Paps. He's fucking donezo.
Just
That's
like
great.
imagine him saying, "Oh, I'm budgeting." Yeah, I've read the Barefoot Investor. Me and the missus like, shut up, Johnny. Well, you got the OMG card, do you, mate? You got
OMG, yeah.
You got the buckets going.
My splurge is running low. My splurge.
Yeah, my splurge bucket. Fuck.
All right, let's straighten this up. So what are we doing round 2? Are we making any changes to any of the way we go about it, or are we just pressing on?
I love Juz so much that I think he can stay in, but I'm gonna get the money out of him some way or the other.
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of new members. So we've got Mitch Beer, one of the great up and coming trainers down at Kembla now, and we've got Mick Gannon, he's a golf. Or Pratty, maybe you can get some golf lessons off Gannon now. He's in the group. And then I've got a couple of mates.
Oh, fucking need him.
Fucking yeah.
Joel Crocker and Will Collis. So got 4 new inclusions, which means the stakes are higher.
Including Dan Bowman as well, mate. That makes it 5.
Oh, Dan Bowman. Is Gano in?
Yeah, so the new players are Croc, phenomenal character, will add value to the WhatsApp. Will Collis, Ben Gannon, not Ben Gannon, I played footy with Ben Gannon. Mick Gannon, judge, a Sydney judge, a golf pro. It's a bit of a scary setup, I think, for us because he will know what he's talking about. Dan Bowman, our man who's been on the show, trains out of Warrnambool, and Mitch Beer, trainer at Kembla Grange. So the WhatsApp will lift, and so will the purse. Decisions to be made whether we sort of reward first, second, and third, or we just keep it all about winning. Righto, the next tournament number 2, the Early Crow Golf Club, will conclude at the PGA Championships at the Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville. That'll be on May 16 to 19. Brooks Koepka won it from Liv last year. So you've got about 11 tournaments roughly to get through. We could throw in a Euro, who knows. But each and every week, the boys in the golf club will have 3 selections with 1 imaginary dollar placed on each selection. They can have outrights, they can have top 10s, top 5s, or top 20s, Pratty. and the majors, of which there are 2. So this tournament will run through the Masters and then finish on the PGA. Each selection has $3 placed on it for those games. So that's how we are playing the second tournament. It'll be across our socials each and every Thursday. Pratty was in profit and I was in profit from tournament 1. Juzzy and I think only Juzzy didn't tip one winner. So if you're looking to follow anyone, probably dodge the Juzz and focus on Pratty, who if he stuck to his guns, the little wobbly man with the twisty finger, if he had stuck to his guns, he probably would have got the job done with his top 10s.
He would have.
Let's not
Wonder
bring up the
what
World
tactics he'll
Cup,
go with this time.
Moral to go to the top 10 action.
100%. Don't be fucking stupid.
Tommy, thank you very much. Love the footy chat. Keen as mustard to watch you rip and tear on, I think, Saturday night against the Bombers. Pratty, should we start talking about our footy team as well?
Let's do it.
Cheers, boys.
It's just us now, the part-timers, the non-professional athletes. This segment is brought to you by Blackberry Ice Rock I Get Bar. It's the vape I use, and you should too, while you can, before the government bans them. What I do is I just go and stock right up.
Emma condone the use, or?
No, and I'm no longer to vape on the podcast. It's a disgrace, and I'm better than that. And you're right, babe. I'm sorry about that. Let's talk Supercoach, AFL. Yep. Look, I mentioned it in the main body. He's a very silky operator, Dacos. He scored a shit ton of points. And let's be honest, a game where they weren't very competitive as a side.
Correct.
So I think that adds more strength to his performance. He's a very special player, and I think he's sort of cemented into our side for the rest of the season.
He's going to have to be the VC option this week against St Kilda too, I think. He might rack up a lot of ball on Thursday night.
Obviously a protected species, and he, I've probably talked about this at the start of the show, like some of his Stewie Diver work's like outstanding, but as someone that used to milk him better than most, it's amateur stuff there from Nick.
You reckon
what you don't do
right?
is make the umpires look stupid in games that don't count when the sting's out of it. You got to keep it up your sleeve for the big games, for the big moments. Anyway,
yep.
I'm surprised he doesn't know better.
I'm surprised you were dobbing yourself in at somebody who was the king of it.
They used to call me Stewie Diver at footy.
Yeah, having a look at the side, Dicko. What do you reckon? We scored 2,163. We ranked 27,815 out of 167,000.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, me too.
Recently, out of retirement super coaches, obviously the Gibcus was a setback.
Yeah, injured. I think he's going to be out for weeks too. Maybe
we've got to make a move there to earn some cash.
Yep.
Errol Goulden warming up, Silk, as he's known in my house. Very good when he got it. Chad Warner, he's going to win the Brownlow, I think. I still stand by that. I wouldn't be surprised if his price is well and truly shortened. T. Green and M. Rao just doing a job that we're very grateful for. I think Wines' name's not coming up for discussion and selection yet, but Ollie, if you're listening, you sort of need to just get into your work a little bit better.
So that's the one that I'm...
Abe Rachel's the one I've got. Are Freo going to play a better game of footy than they played on the weekend?
Yeah, you'd hope so. The only concern I've got about Wines is that he only played 50% of time in the midfield. He only attended 50% of the centre bounces. So I know they did. I think they almost kicked a world record behind. So that's just off the top of my head. They did kick a lot, but he's potentially the one that we might need to move Gibcus on and potentially move him on if we can flip like a Fife into the midfield. And I think we potentially need to maybe look at Heaney in the forward line, to be honest. I think, what did he have again? I think he had 29 and 2 and fucking dominated. I think we'd be silly if we didn't have him.
Well, does that mean we can drop your man Zach Fisher, who offered very little?
Well, he's another option to get cold, hey. It's just going to all be about the cash. Zach Fisher looked okay, but but not
So I thought
outstanding.
he scored 50 points.
Yeah. Yeah,
It cost me almost 380,000. So okay.
Yeah. The question's going to be is how do we move him and Gibcus on? The rookies in the back line are going to be the question of who we can pick. It might have to be Massimo from Hawthorn. I know he had a good game on the weekend, but he is a little bit more expensive. So that's going to be our only setback, the amount of cash we've got in the bank.
Yeah, let's bring in the curry and find out about what we can do with Zach Fisher. But he looks like a dot ball, even if we just downgrade him to a cash cow.
Yep.
Then try and bring in Heaney next week, I guess.
Might be worth it. Heaney will price rise this week. I think he's projected to go by about 30 or 40k. So we might as well wait till after his buy if we're going to do that.
Yep.
Decisions to be made. The other one's Hayden Young. I'm so glad we switched from Luke Ryan, who scored 170, to Hayden Young, who scored 70. That was another absolute genius move by me. I think he had like 11 clangers, though. So 11 clangers and like 5 free kicks against, which absolutely murders you in Supercoach. So I think he still had 29 and laid a stupid amount of tackles. So as long as he keeps playing in the midfield, I think he'll be okay in the long run. But yeah, bit concerning as well.
All right. That's all right for Supercoach. We're just basically got to get rid of Gibcus and we might move on.
Yeah.
Might move on Fisher. We're just trying to sustain. If we could sneak inside top 20,000, I'd be happy whilst building some bank. Most importantly, head-to-head action kicks off this week, which is sort of what I'm going to be focused on this week. Who are we up against?
Gus.
Gussie.
So, Gus, if you're out there and listening, good luck to you, mate. You're going to get shat on.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Gus. We're coming for you,
100%.
big boy. Best of luck, though, at the same time, Gus. I hope we just beat you and we both score super. That's AFL Supercoach. It's building nicely. Team's going well. Very happy early on. Well done, P. Right with your cash cows, apart from obviously H. Young and Fisher. That's been the Early Crow episode 25. We will have accountable staking plans, quaddies, multis, the works. Saturday morning across our socials. Like and subscribe, get around them. Golf players coming Thursday. NRL players coming Thursday. Probably some more stuff. We're not sure. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed the show, and I look forward to you guys getting around us again next week. Have a phenomenal weekend, and bye for now.